about the work you got in defensively these 3 days?
I thought it was just I thought it was needed. I think new scheme, fairly new scheme, a lot of things that roll over, but I mean, new terminology. You're out there with new guys, new coaches. Everyone. I've said it before. Like, Coach E's cover four is going to be different than Coach Ed and Coach Vic, right? Cover four in general, the general concepts, but it just varies. And so you able to come out here and to get work, against our offense this week and just to compete. We miss football, miss being around it. So it felt great to be back on the field and just compete and, enjoy these last 3 days.
Justin, anything stand out about going against Russ that maybe you didn't expect or you didn't know this week?
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything, I guess, that I didn't expect, but I think it's always cool. I love, like, the battle within, the battle or the game within the game. Like, so he's back there. He's really good with his hard counts and his cadence work. And, for both Kareem and I, like, that's really good. And our linebackers, right? Like, anytime we're showing things too early, that could mess up. And then they already have a jump on us defensively, right? Or if we show too late, even sometimes, like if we're late getting back into what we need to get back into, that could hurt us. And so he does a really good job of controlling his pace, man. Sometimes they get up there, they quick snap. Sometimes they get up there, he'll hard count a few times, and so it's good work for us. But you could tell, he's back there analyzing, and it's great. I love that game, so it's fun.
Sorry, Justin, you mentioned at the beginning of last season there were some communication issues to start. Are there any things you can do this offseason to try to make that not happen at the start of this year?
Yeah, honestly, it's days like the last 3 days that we had. As many times it's great when you're in the film room and you're talking things out, but it's so much different when you're out there and it's full speed and you got Cortland and Tim and Judy and KJ. Like, it's so much different. It's easy when you're just sitting there and you're watching it on film, like, oh yeah, I could take this, I do this, pass this. But when you're out there, and feel like just the other day, like we were watching film and we were talking about how we were going to pass this certain route and how we all saw it that way. Then we got out on the field and it was just like, nah, we can't. Like, we're not able to do it like how we thought we could. So communication, honestly, is just the more reps we can get out here together, that's really going to help our communication, and it's going to help exceed it, throughout OTAs, training camp. And so really excited that there aren't as many restrictions, so that, we can be around each other as much as possible. And I'm really thankful for that. So it's just going to be as many reps as we can as possible to eliminate that.
I'm sorry. How far are you ahead of the curve, because you got essentially 4 starters back, and I'll have plenty of time with K1. Don't know what the draft will be, but to be so many snaps that y'all played together last year.
Yeah, no, we're pretty. We're pretty solid. Like you said, they got a bunch of core guys that have been here for a while, so we know how, at least for the most part, how each other thinks, how we see things develop. And with K, he does such a good job. If you watch this film with San Fran the past few years, he just does an unbelievable job for them at nickel. Turnover machine. Just does so good. He just does a really good job in those zone coverages of reading route combinations and where he should and where he should be. So for us, man, it's just getting on the same level as him. It's not telling him like, hey, this is how we do things. It's kind of merging, like finding that equal balance, so that we can just be on the same page.
Justin, what's the difference between real energy, good energy, and kind of fake rah-rah sort of energy, or is all energy good?
I'm a firm believer, like, obviously, if you get real energy, like, you can tell, right? The real deal, guys feed off of that. And, there's time, like, in training camp, man, you're going in, like, day 7, of training camp, and, going up against the same color jersey, you're seeing the same schemes and things like that. Like, it's okay to have a little fake juice. Like, you're not going to come out here and have the same type of energy you had on day 1, right? Being realistic about it. And so, like, you get to day 7 or whatever, you're going to have a little bit of fake energy, and that's okay. Sometimes this is the dog days of camp, right? You got to fight through that. You hit a little bit of adversity. Maybe you're not having such a great practice, and, hey, find a way to lift the guy up. And some guys are great at having, like, really solid, good energy, and that's just, like, positive about them. And some guys, they have to carry a little bit of fake energy. But I think all energy, and in retrospect, I think all energy positively being brought to the table is a good thing.
2 more questions, Arnie, then Eric.
Justin, what did you think of Peyton's gesture to honor Demaryius Thomas with the scholarship?
I thought that was absolutely amazing. I think we're in a world today, or at least like a society today, where it's like, if I was this person, I would have did this. If I had this, I would do that, right? And when it comes down to it, like, no one is responsible to do anything for anyone else. And I think when you look at it from that perspective, like, Peyton didn't have to do what he did, but it's because DT meant so much to him. And I think that's what takes it to another level. You come from an aspect of thinking like, well, he should, he's DT's teammate. It was his brother. They did so many great things together. I mean, he didn't have to. So for him to take that step, for him and his family to take that step to honor DT and his family, and I mean, all those kids that they're going to affect in DT's hometown for years and years and years to come, to go on to, Georgia Tech with full scholarships, partial scholarships, whatever it may be. I think like that to me is like just the ultimate like show of respect, and I can't say any more like good things about it, man. I think looking at it at the surface is like he didn't have to do something like that, and the fact that he did just spoke volumes to what DT meant to him, and I think that was really special.
Justin, Coach Hackett's been really big on this win the West thing. After how long, or after the way the division's gone the last few years, how important is it for you guys to kind of embrace that head on, the challenge of playing these AFC West teams? Yeah,
no, it's super important. I mean, we all know what it's been like the past 5 years, playing in the West, and my opinion, but I mean, you can argue that is the best division in football. The Chiefs, the Raiders, Chargers, and now us. We got Russ and a bunch of additions. Randy Gregory, DJ Jones, K1. I mean, I could go down the list of guys that we got, but it's going to be like prime time every single time AFC West game is on. It's gonna be all chips in the middle of the table. Every time one of those four teams are playing each other, and so you got to embrace it. I mean, part of being a competitor, man, is embracing like the best parts of it. Like, if you want to be the best, you got to go up against the best, right? And we're in the best division, and so, man, what a way to go into the postseason if you're on top of that division, And that's really all that's at the top of our mind, man. And we preach it every single day, how important it is to win the West. And so it's going to be a great year.